The transfer of Delhi High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Varma, in whose home a pile of unaccounted cash was found last week. This is what has been confirmed to NDTV, that the Supreme Court has ordered a preliminary inquiry into this particular matter. The sources also said that the Supreme Court Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna has sought a report from the Delhi High Court Chief Justice D.K. Upadhyay and also briefed fellow judges in the top court. Now, in a fresh twist, the Allahabad Bar Association has written a letter saying that the Allahabad High Court is not a trash bin, opposing the judge's transfer back to the court. In a letter to the Chief Justice and other judges of the Allahabad High Court, the group opposed Justice Varma's repatriation as decided by the Supreme Court Collegium after discovery of this money. In fact, I'm currently joined by Senior Advocate Mr. Nalin Kohli of the Supreme Court. Sir, welcome to NDTV. My first question to you is, how do you see the Supreme Court's action on the judge after the cash was found at his home?
The Honorable Supreme Court in 1999, if I recall correctly, had devised a mechanism to deal with such situations if any impropriety of any serious allegation with regard to the conduct of any honorable judge comes up. So in that, a committee is formed in which an honorable judge of the Honorable Supreme Court would be there, and along with two chief justices of some high courts. And that committee would then go into the facts of whatever are that. It's a sort of an inquiry committee, if I may call it. That inquiry committee would then come out with its report. Based on that report, the next course of action, whatever it is, would be considered. Now, the next course, which was how the process is, would be either the person would be exonerated. If it is serious and those allegations are found to be true, then the option of resignation is there. Of course, under the Constitution, there is also the provision of impeachment. And it's been invoked in the past for a few times for judges of the Supreme Court or High Court. And impeachment under Article 124(4) applies to a Supreme Court judge, and the same thing applies under Article 318 to the High Court judges.
Mr. Kohli, the Supreme Court has transferred him as of now. Is transfer enough as a punishment, and does this entire matter send a message that judges are above law in that particular case? My question to you, how can such a perception be corrected?
Well, you have asked two questions, actually.
Yeah.
The transfer, in effect, is to be seen from the point that that is the parent court. So Justice Varma was, in terms of transferred to Delhi from Allahabad High Court. So in a way, he's reverting back to his original High Court, his parent High Court being Allahabad. So I would look at it from that perspective. The second is that enough? I think that's a hasty comment, because what we do know is that the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, along with the Collegium members, and that means we are talking of the senior most judges of the Honorable Supreme Court. That would be Justice Gavai, that would be Justice Suryakant. And if it's extended to the five then that would be additionally judges who are in Court 4 and 5, Justice Oka and Justice Vikramnath. So, I mean, if all five of them met, or whether three of them met, they have taken a decision that something has to be done. So therefore, it's shocking. It is obviously disconcerting. It's serious because the allegations emanate from an incident of fire, as has been reported in the media. And it seems that to control that fire, when the fire brigade reached, this large sum, which we don't know what is the sum, was found of cash. Now, that would mean an explanation is called for.
Yeah.
Can somebody first, what is the quantum of the money found? And two, what is the explanation for that money? Now, assume XYZ, any person, let's not look at it as a judge, is found with cash. And if there is a cogent explanation to that, and it matches with the books of accounts, then it does not become a crime per se. But if the amount is very large and there is no explanation, then obviously it would be seen to be something that requires an investigation, and due process of law will kick in. In the case of a judge, because there is a protection on a judge also, that is why I said the Supreme Court in 1999 had gone ahead and formed this inquiry committee, which is there. And after that, we have to wait to see what is that outcome. So I don't think we should prejudge. It's too early to say that.
All right. One final word from you, sir, on the Allahabad Bar Association's opposition to this entire move. How do you respond to that? And do you think that this opposition is justified?
More than that, I think the larger question, and it's very disconcerting, even disheartening, when such an allegation comes, that the question of moral standards declining and ethics across various segments of society, and we see that in the media regularly about A, B, C, as a segment of society, when it comes to the judiciary, because they are seen to be impartial, and that is the place where you look for justice and rule of law, when such an allegation comes, it becomes disconcerting and disturbing because it erodes the credibility in an institution that the average Indian or the average citizen holds very far high. Which is why you have to appreciate that the Supreme Court immediately, on getting the information, has stepped in and taken what is the first step. It's not the final step.
All
And
right.
as reported in the media, the Honorable Chief Justice has immediately put into motion the steps that need to go. Second, it's very, very disturbing for the judges who work from morning to night looking at 50, 60, 100 cases. Because one such example comes, then it raises credibility, it raises questions of credibility
Right.
on all the others who are performing day and night and dispensing justice. So I'm sure that whatever is the logical outcome, it'll flow.
All right, Mr. Nalin Kohli, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV.